So I'm a big Jacksonville fan for Trevor Lawrence. I think the guy's got a huge potential in this league as long as he doesn't get hurt. But I think the problem with him, and a lot of people criticize Trevor Lawrence, is they don't see the same type of heart or the same kind of maybe desire. He knows he's really good. He knows he's really good, but he also has said football's not his life. He's more than just a football player. So maybe when you hear people say that, maybe it sounds like maybe they've taken themselves out of the whole situation. Like maybe he's not the ultimate competitor. And I'm not going to say he's not, but that's what a lot of people have perceived when he's made a statement like that. You don't want to hear somebody talk about other things when that's your quarterback, right? You don't want to hear him talking about playing video games or talking about wanting to go surfing or something. You want to hear them talking about practicing, grinding, playing football, winning a championship. So maybe the social media has really made this world a lot smaller, and smaller is not necessarily better. When you know everything about your family and your friends and there's no secrets, then there's a lot of reasons to when someone fails, they don't have the support, right?
You know who's another player who had that exact same storyline coming out of the draft? Miles
Who's
Garrett.
that?
Miles Garrett
He's
had
on
questions about whether he was truly about football, whether he, it was what his long-term plans were. That came up in the pre-draft interviews. He's actually a big archaeology guy, anthropology guy, believe it or not. So he's really into history, and he said when he got drafted, that's not football's not what he wants to really do with his life, but you got to do what God gives you.
Yeah. I mean, like some people, they just want to dance, but, they're not going to be a dancer, so they kick footballs, some people want to be a painter, but they have to paint apartments, it's not necessarily the same thing.
We got to be able to make sure we live first.
You got to be able to eat. You got to be able to pay, right? So David, we're going to give it to you, Jacksonville and Tampa Bay. How do you feel about this game? Baker's down there. He could be cooking. He definitely had a good game last week. He had a really good game. I think he won the FedEx Air Award, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
I honestly like the way the Bucks defense matches up with Jacksonville's offense. So I got the Buccaneers winning this game.
Yeah,
I really do.
That's a good point. That's a good point because they got a good defense. They really do. Mr. Levi, what's your thoughts on Jacksonville, Tampa Bay? I think this game's pretty close to you, if I'm correct.
Oh, yeah. Jacksonville about 5 hours away, Tampa Bay about 2 hours. Sometimes drive to Tampa, go get some Raising Cane's with the girlfriend. Like David McNiner just said, Baker's kind of played out of his mind. I forgot to change my fantasy football lineup first week of playoffs, but I had Baker, and Baker went off. So it kind of actually worked out. I got a lot of love for Trevor Lawrence too. Clemson guy, my home state where I was raised at, not born, but I think Tampa could sneakily pull this out. Looking at the spread, they're +1 on the board as well going into this matchup. But all the credit to Trevor Lawrence. Somehow Baker passer rating 101.9. He's actually beating right now Trevor Lawrence in passer rating.
He's a good quarterback. Okay, so we're going to move on to Arizona and Chicago. And believe it or not, Chicago is still in the playoff race. They are in the bubble. So we know how the Cardinals can play. We know the Cardinals have a lot of talent. I'm not taking Cardinals going into Chicago. Cardinals left Chicago for a reason. The Bears are still there for a reason. And I'm just going to I'm taking the Bears. The Bears, they're going to win one for their city today. David, how do you feel?
The Bears?
The Bears.
Well, I actually have the Cardinals winning this, and that might stem from how hard they played against us. I don't think they're a terrible football team. They just haven't put anything really together other than beating the Cowboys. Shout out to them for doing that, right? But
yeah, thank you very much. We like that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I have the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to fly away from the Bears. Yes.
Oh boy. Levi, how do you feel about that?
Oh, this is a rough one. So game going to be at Soldier Field in Chicago. So a little bit of a leg up. Arizona plays some really tight D. Doesn't matter who they play against, but PFF Power Rankings has them dead last in defense, 22nd in offense. I'm not a big fan of Kyler Murray. The whole Call of Duty thing rubbed me wrong a little bit. I don't know though. This Cardinal team's no joke. Y'all saw it, we saw it. As long as they don't commit bad turnovers, they're not out of any game because of that defense. I think the Cardinals pull an upset here. Chicago, the -4 spread, which I think if negative means they're valued ahead on the sheets. I think Arizona pulls something out of the hat here, just winning the turnover differential battle today.
Okay. So we're gonna move to Dallas. Are they gonna be dim boys, or are we gonna watch the Dolphins swim away with the win? I'm gonna say let's swim. I really think Miami. It's in Miami. The Cowboys are gonna have to walk around on sand or learn how to play in sand. It's one of those games, right? Dolphins are very fast. Cowboys are very fast. So this should be a very high scoring game. It should be. But I think the Dolphins are just that much faster. I really, truly think they are. So I see this game being really high scoring game. Both teams could be scored in the 40s. I really, truly think this could happen. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins, and I hope they wear their white uniforms. I hope they wear all white. I really do.
Do y'all know about that home field advantage down there in Hard Rock Stadium?
No, please tell us.
Oh man, so someone that's been there, it's something they're very proud of. So the way the stadium is designed with the sun that comes into Miami, of course, it gets real hot down there in South Beach. So they designed the stadium as the sun comes in, the home team's side of the field and their bench is constantly in shade, while the away teams is in the sun constantly. So these 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock games where the sun is beaming, it makes a difference. And if I'm not mistaken, the NFL did like a little tidbit on it one time. The temperature difference from the Dolphin sideline to the away team sideline can sometimes be almost 20-degree difference. So it could be 80 degrees on the Dolphin sideline and 100 degrees on the away team sideline. It's a huge home field advantage for the Dolphins to be playing there earlier in the day.
This is a good question. If anybody in the chat knows, is Tyreek playing or not? Carcass brings up a good point. They are not.
They have not officially released the 4 o'clock slot window time injury reports. We have the 1 o'clocks, but the 4 o'clocks probably come out, I'm guessing, at 1 o'clock.
Shout out to Damian Lee. If Clarence from A Wonderful Life to get his wings when Dallas gets a ring, he would never get them. If he had to wait around for Dallas, he would not get them.
And that's actually the game I'll be covering today at 4 o'clock, by the way. That's my game for today. Miami versus Dallas.
Shout out to Full Field Devil. Appreciate you for coming through. Please make sure you subscribe. We see you around on a lot of chats. I think I've seen you in Terradome chat most. But just get a little fun banter. David has channel. Levi has channel. We do things together. But yes, it's gonna be a good game tomorrow. All love
exactly.
A lot of respect. A lot of respect for both teams. Number one team going against the number one team. First time since two teams in Week 16 have played each other that's had the highest winning record since 1970.
Wow.
At this point in the season. So going back all the way to 1970 is the last time the two best teams with this high of a record, 11-3 teams, are playing each other in Week 16 matchup. I know that's a lot to say, and I have a way of saying it, but all right, we're going to move on. I think we're all going to be interested to see who wins Miami and Dallas. I think Miami's pushing your Ravens, and I think the Dallas are pushing our 49ers here.
Did we get David on that one?
David, did you speak on it? Did you speak on the Dolphins?
Cowboys and the Dolphins?
Yeah.
I think the Dolphins are going to swim on this one, but
that's right. Yep.
That's right.
We hope so. And
they have a track team. I mean, Dallas's defense isn't necessarily the biggest. They're also about speed,
Yep.
But they have a track team on offense in Miami. It's you kind of need luck and the ball bouncing your way on your side playing defense against them. So,
Agreed.
All right. So it sounds like Fork Tail Devil, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. And then it says right here that from his tales, it was Tyreek from, I think this is your your buddy from your channel.
Jay Sparrow, yep.
Tyreek is playing according to most sources. So I would say so too. If he misses too many games, then I know he was in the running for MVP. I don't know if he can catch it, but playing a game here and playing a game there and having good scores definitely helps to keep your name relevant. Okay, so we're going to move on to probably everyone's favorite game of the week. I know you'll all be tuning in, and you'll probably, if you want to drop your score predictions now for the game of the week, folks, New England versus Denver. I'm going to say it right away. Let's ride, folks. I got Denver winning this game. New England is coming across the country to the Mile High Stadium. It's always going to be Mile High. I know that's not what it's called anymore, but it's that's just what it is. They're going to be playing, and I don't see New England. I don't see New England really. Bailey Zappi, I mean, I'm not going to count him out. I tell you what, that guy can throw the ball. He might be their new franchise quarterback if they put a team around him. But for right now, it's going to be Denver. Denver needs this game. Whether or not they can continue to win after this game, but I'm taking Denver. David, how do you feel? We got New England, Bill Belichick coming in. I don't think he'll be wearing a hoodie, but he'll probably be wearing a hoodie. I don't think he'll have a smile on. Christmas colors, it doesn't matter. He's just that guy, right?
I really think the Broncos are going to buck the Patriot off their back and they're going to stomp them. So
yeah, it's not going to happen. If it does, I mean, like it was like what last week, 2 weeks ago, everybody counted out New England and then they won. So I mean, it can happen, but they're not playing for anything right now. They're only if they are playing for anything, they're playing for team pride, team morale. Bill Belichick either knows he's not going to be with the Patriots next year, or he knows he's not going anywhere. He's not worried. I don't think he's worried about his job. And if he knows his job is coming to the end, he knows if he wants to keep playing, there's a job in San Diego for him. There could be a job in Las Vegas for him. There's jobs. He could look at another team and say, I want to coach for your team, and they'll probably fire their coach. That's the pull Bill Belichick has right now. I mean, you imagine Bill Belichick going to the Cowboys and playing for, coaching for the Cowboys.
Browns.
The Browns would be that would be like the Cinderella story for his career, finishing in Cleveland. But
they have the roster.
They do.
Yeah, now they have a roster too. They do. So if that could happen, I mean, I think that would be
terrifying.
Something. He went to someone like just the Cowboys, or if he went somewhere like Seattle or something like that, he could have a stranglehold. He maybe not in the Cowboys because they still have Jerry Jones, who's pretty much.
I don't see Pete Carroll going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh boy, I got kids dancing and books are falling. So give me a second, folks.
Yeah, you're fine.
Well, Bill Belichick has earned the right to step away whenever he wants to. They've won 6 rings. He's their longest tenured coach, I think, by far. Yeah, he's 100% earned the right.
Oh, absolutely agreed. I got a little bone to pick about the cheating thing, but that's always my fun joke to New England fans. I'm like, you had like the greatest coach of all time. You had like one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Why you got to cheat too, man? Like, pile it on. Why don't you? But I give all the respect. We during our Super Bowl run and that few year window, we were always catching the Patriots in the AFC Championship or division right before it. We had a rivalry going for a while because of that. By the way, I've got the official Miami Dolphins injury report up here. They don't have the game report, but I've got Tyreek has been a limited participant Thursday and Friday, officially listed as questionable for the game. But seeing that he got light work Thursday and Friday on an ankle injury, I would expect him, like some people said, to be a go. Looks like the only person absolutely ruled out for the Miami Dolphins in this game is going to be guard Robert Hunt. Like I said, officially ruled out. Big thing for the Cowboys, though, Jonathan Hankins, their starting D tackle, I think has been a big play in their run defense, going to be out for that game as well. Ooh, and Tyron Smith, their starting left tackle for the Cowboys. Looking over their practice.
Tyreek Hill, we had a question pop up in the chat from Damian Lee. So when he got traded to the Miami Dolphins from the Kansas City Chiefs, that's when they inked him to that humongous contract. I think it was the same year Debo signed his. It all happened at the same time.
I'll pull it up. Let's see here. We got Tyreek Hill, 29 years old. Signed a 5-year, $87.6 million contract. He's making $12 million this year. The real story is next year. His cap hit's going to go from $12 million to $31 million next year, and then 30 the next year. And then, guys, 2026, his cap number is $56 million. There's no way he's on the Dolphins roster by 2026.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy one. It's one of those ones, if they cut him after 2024, they can save money.
Well, at this point, if he keeps playing at a high level, they might just restructure him.
That would probably be the best way to do it, honestly. Honestly, Tyreek probably might retire after the Dolphins, so you could probably restructure and add a void year on there to kind of push that cap number over two or 3 years, basically. So absolutely good point there, McNiner. Oh, man. I don't know if y'all know this, by the way. It didn't even change last night. I might have brought this up on the Friday night show, but only one team on the AFC side has clinched a playoff spot, technically, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. We're still waiting. The AFC is wild, guys.
It is. It is very wild, and this is another good question. How did Miami get Hill and Waddle? That is nuts. It really is. And Mostert. Yeah, he's a stud. He is.
Do we have to talk about how they got Waddle? Because that was like I believe that was a draft pick traded to him by us, and the draft picks that
actually I think it was through Denver
for Tyreek Hill also, like one I believe a first rounder came from us too. So
I tell you what, when they got Mostert, they got a lot of speed right there. Then they got Tyreek, and it was like, oh my gosh, how are you going to keep up with these guys? And, hey, shout out to the league and shout out to Miami and, the Miami Niners. I love it. They truly are. The Niners are worldwide. We just keep on taking over. So, all right, we're going to move on to Las Vegas. This is a good game. Playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. And when I initially looked at this game, it says it's Las Vegas at Kansas City. But when I Googled it yesterday, it says it's in Las Vegas. So can anybody tell me where this game is? Because I'm seeing a discrepancy on my list and on my phone. We were joking yesterday. I have a family member who's going to be going to the Christmas game in Levi's, the Niners in Baltimore game, and her husband's a Raider fan, and she said, well, maybe you can go to Las Vegas. And he said, oh no, they're playing in Kansas City. And I was like, well, let's check it out. So I pulled up my fantasy football real quick, and I seen the schedule, and it said Las Vegas. So if anybody in the chat can check that out for me. I don't have my phone on me right now. I'm so sorry.
PFF says Kansas City, by the way.
It is Kansas City. Okay. So we're not traveling.
40 degrees with light rain today. Gonna be a crappy game out there in Missouri.
Okay, so John wants you to know, Levi, if I don't see you later, just like I said, you're my boy. But Monday night, it's just business. Go Niners. Yeah. We got Bashar in the house. Bashar saying, sup, fellas. We appreciate it. And then Tony with the banter down below. This Monday night game in Levi's is going to be a showdown. Yeah, I mean, yes. That's just truly, it truly is. I think we all were expecting the Eagle game to be that game of the year, and I really think it's this one. I really think it's this one, guys. And hey, good luck, and I really just truly hope it is a really good game. That's what I'm asking for. So Las Vegas, Kansas City. I'm taking the Raiders. I am. The Raiders probably don't have a chance in this, but it is the Raiders. So when you count them out, they put up 63 points. When you believe in them, they don't score, right? Shout out to the Vikings 0-3 or 3-0. Oh, but then they came back the next week, right? 63 to 21. Hey, I'm taking the Raiders. It could happen. It could definitely happen. Kansas City, they're just not the same team. But watch them be in the AFC Championship by the end of this season. I'm just saying. That's my thoughts. I'm going Raiders. David McNiner, your thoughts?
I'm going with the Chiefs in this one. The Raiders, they fired their head coach. They benched the QB that they signed this offseason, whose name I'm not going to mention. And then, they're kind of in turmoil. They fired their GM too, So Antonio Pierce, the former linebacker from the Giants, has got them playing hard right now. But I don't think they have enough to keep up with KC's defense. You notice the part of their team I'm calling out here. Their offense hasn't been what it used to be, but their defense is playing good football.
The defense has definitely been playing a lot better than they probably have ever played. Levi, what's your thoughts? Las Vegas Raiders, can they get it done? Are they going to be the upset? Are they going to hand Kansas City some coal this year for Christmas? Or is Kansas City are they cutting down the Christmas tree and taking it with them?
They're getting desperate out there. They know they need some help to really get. Like I said, Kansas City has not even clinched their playoff spot yet. The Raiders, of course, y'all talked about, fired their head coach, benched their quarterback. I'll bring this up every time we talk about the Raiders. Free my boy Hunter Renfrow. You signed Jacoby Myers to play all the same exact positions when you just signed him to a 3-year extension. But the real story here for the Raiders is going to be Aiden McConnell, the former Purdue quarterback rookie this year. I believe going to be getting the start against Patrick Mahomes. He's actually played pretty well. Playing pretty good, big time throw and turnover worthy plays, etc. But PFF, the grade, this is a 62.4 versus a 90.3 quarterback in Mahomes. The real thing, I ain't gonna lie, guys, I'm not a bet man, but I'm on PFF right now. Las Vegas, 10.5 plus, so that means they're expected to lose, if I'm not mistaken. It says the money line's negative 582 Kansas City, meaning I'm pretty sure if you put $100 on KC, you'll come away with about 600 on that ticket. So if you can bet on the Raiders to win and they pull it off, $100 might win you 600.
Folks, I'm not a betting man. I just truly, I'm not. I like to know where I put my glasses at in the morning when I wake up. I put them in I'm a creature of habit. I don't leave very often. I'm a little bit of a hermit, and I tell you what. But if you can go and put out $100 and you like to bet, I'm one of those guys. I'll bet something funny, like, hey, you want to shave an eyebrow or something? Like, it's just an eyebrow; it'll grow back, right? But no, I don't. I don't do much more than that. Shout out to Dion from Niner Gang Podcast for coming through. We appreciate you. We really do. Yeah, Levi. We're gonna try to be the Grinch tomorrow, and we also have
the Ravens. Y'all are the favorite. We trying to be the Grinch. The Ravens actually even put out a whole article saying they're trying to be the Grinch for the 49ers Christmas.
We got the Sentinel Football Channel. Hey, you don't have to bet for the Raiders. You really don't. It's just you know how families are. They have the divided house and stuff. Well, I grew up in a Raider household, and it is what it is. I don't root for the Raiders. I like seeing them. I like seeing them play a good game. I like seeing them lose, but every once in a while, it's okay to see them win. Makes my dad smile. So hey, if your family members are passionate football fans and they have to root for a losing team, yeah, sometimes it's not fun to come around on the weekend.
I got respect for it when they stick with that losing team. Somewhere them Raiders got a closet. Fans got a closet. Mark Davis, just win, baby.
Just win. Just win. Hey, it's because of my dad too that I love football the way I do. He took me and my family, my brothers and my mom, to a Niner Raider game, and in Oakland, and that is a different animal. I don't judge anybody's stadium or fans until you have went to a Oakland Raider game. You see their fans, then you can compare the rest of the league to them. I'm not even going to say.
Well,
I'm not
can
going
you
to say
say
they're
that now
horrible.
with them being in Vegas? Oh,
Well,
it's not the same without them being in Oakland.
Geez, so there was a time in history that Mike Shanahan used to coach for the Denver Broncos, and it's kind of hard to see it on camera because of the way the cameras used to be. But they used to walk behind him with a big board, because people in Oakland used to take Duracell batteries and throw them at him. So I know of the Marshawn Lynch throwing Skittles on a player, and it wasn't Marshawn Lynch, but Skittles and why Seahawk fans like Skittles. Well, our guy ripped his knee, and they were throwing Skittles on him as he was being carried off with the cart. That's not cool. But to take Duracell batteries in and try to throw them at the head coach because he was your head coach like 10 years ago, I mean, like, the hate runs deep. And I don't condone that violence. I don't. But when my dad pointed it out to me, I was like, wow, like people really get caught up into this, and they take it to a whole different level. When you give players death threats or you do certain things like that, that's taking it to a different level. But it's because of, like what you kind of said, people bet on teams. They're expected to win. They don't win, and then they get mad. So again, for me, I don't bet, because at the end of the day, if I'm not putting money out there, then I don't have to worry about it. If you want to do something funny, we'll do something funny, but that's just me. Oh yeah, and then here he brings it up too. There was stabbings at Candlestick, and yeah. And yes,
Wow.
check it out. What he said is absolutely facts. Up to Raiders. Ben, he's the number one content creator I know. Yeah, there's a lot of good Raider content creators out there. There are. We actually have a really big Raider content creator in Stockton. I didn't realize that, and I found him out from Raphael. So if you guys know about Raphael, he's got a really cool Raider channel as well, and he collabs with a lot of other people. So okay, Las Vegas and Kansas City. David, were you able to speak about Kansas City and Las Vegas?
Yes.
Levi, did you get to talk a little bit about the Raiders in Kansas City? I believe you did.
Yep.
All right, we'll move on to the New York Giants. The New York Giants. I like to call them the New Jersey Giants, but they are the Big Blue. That's who they are. Because of them, we have hope, right? They have that. They have that Italian quarterback, and he's been making noise in New York and giving them something to believe in. They don't have the record right now to necessarily be the loudest or proudest fans, but they still have pride for their team. They're going to be playing Philadelphia, and I don't think they've beaten Philadelphia in over 10 years in Philadelphia. So I would love to see New York go in there and shock the world. I don't care if I lose this pick 'em. I'm not rooting for the Eagles. I'm taking the Giants. I'm taking the Giants by a field goal. Let's go.
So shout out to someone that's actually going to the game.
Yeah.
David Corona is in the chat. He's going to his first 49ers game, folks. So enjoy, David.
I got my sticky note. 208.
I would
in 208.
I would advise you to bring earbuds or earplugs because it gets loud, buddy. It gets loud. But when it comes to the Giants actually haven't beat the Eagles in over 10 seasons at the Link at Philadelphia. So, it's kind of hard to pick against that. I did pick the Eagles, but, I'm also going to be later in the season picking the Giants to upset the Eagles when they're in New Jersey. So, a little foreshadowing going on there.
How do you see it breaking down, Levi?
The Giants, I had a lot of faith in their team this year. I really thought they were going to try to pull it together, and they fell apart and made me look, eat my words. My favorite New York pizza place, their little family-run place, they got giant flags everywhere, so I enjoyed talking with them. I don't know if DeVito's that guy and can really upset, the Eagles. when he's got a clean pocket, supposedly he's really good. But his big time throw rates and throw under pressure is so bad compared to Jalen Hurts. I think Tommy DeVito might be a little too sidetracked by trying to get these signing deals going on. I don't know if y'all have seen the drama going on with that, but I think the Eagles walk away with this one.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard, when you become the hometown hero, and you are, not necessarily, getting too big of yourself, but people around you who are working for you, or let's not say it in a bad way, but are trying to be profitable and help you. Well, sometimes maybe they're looking for the bag, and maybe they're trying to see, maybe they don't know how long this is going to last, and they're trying to get what they can get, and it's human nature, I guess. So what had happened is the New York quarterback was going to go to his hometown, and he was going to go to the restaurant where the pizza is the best, it's his hometown restaurant pizza shop, and they were going to give him some money to come in and show up, right? So hey, that's cool. Make a little bit of money for appearance, right? But then he won another game, and the agent asked for more money. And that's when the struggling, and not struggling, but that's when the restaurant was like, man, we really don't have that money. We do not have that money to do that. I'm sorry. So him being a good guy, maybe hearing it, maybe feeling about it, and say, hey, this is my hometown. This is my restaurant. This is where my stomping grounds is. Continued to do the appearance, did it for free. And that guy who was his agent or whoever was making the deal is no longer with him. So sometimes, you have to keep people around you who are looking out for your best benefit, but you also have to have people around you who understand you. Maybe money's not worth everything to you. Maybe there's things that you can do pro bono. There's a lot of things. Shout out to Steve Young. He is a Mormon and he's a lawyer. And I'm pretty sure if you need an attorney, he is somebody you can contact. I believe he will help you out. So I've heard that from other people as well. But whether or not he's the one who's actually doing the work for you, he might be turning you on to one of his friends who is also doing the work for you. But hey, you just got to keep it friendly. And again, your family, your relationships, the town it all matters. Where you're at matters. And if you burn the bridge, how are you going to leave the city or get back in, right? So you can't shoot the tire if you plan on driving somewhere. So check out the chat real quick. Tommy doesn't like DeVito. That's okay. We have the Sentinel saying Steve-O has facts. Eagles content creators are super afraid of the Niners. They are. They talked a lot of trash last year, but this year they're not speaking very much. We have the Cowboys.
I actually I watched a video. A guy was saying he did like a game play-by-play, and he said the Niners, no, we're a better team than the Niners. I'm like, what? Like, where? I actually asked him where. Just tell me what you're thinking here, because look at your team's rankings versus our team's rankings, and just tell me how you're a better team. He never responded. I wasn't trolling the guy. I just wanted to know, like, what's your point of view here? That's all I wanted to know.
Facts should not be based off opinions. Opinions should be based off facts.
That's true. That's the truth.
Steve-O, you are right. He did go to the pizza shop and he did it for free. He didn't take any money from the restaurant at all. And then Tommy has a prediction. He has a bold take, and I like it. First touchdown tomorrow night is juice. I think I don't think anyone would be upset.
All be right. A little fitting. Tony, the former Raven.
Yeah. Tony wants to get a little bit of juice in there. All right. So our last game is Baltimore and San Francisco. I don't have a sound bar. Maybe one day we can get the drum roll. We can get like a bell and stuff. But for right now, it's just our great smiles. But we have Baltimore and San Francisco. Levi, you are the guest. You are a great friend, but you are the visitor. So let's have you start out with anything that you've already said, haven't said, anything. Let's have fun for a second. So how do you feel Baltimore, San Francisco? Is it a 50-50, game to you, or are you feeling 45, ish? How do you feel? Because to me, I got to be honest with you, I feel this is a 50-50 game.
Oh, I absolutely agree. It's a 50-50 game. It's just all like I've talked about all week, all respect to the 49ers. If you haven't joined us here on I think we talked about it Friday night. I've talked about it on every channel. My crazy game day prediction for this game is it's going to come down to a 2-point conversion at the end. I think the Ravens make it to take the win. No one wants to go into overtime on Christmas night. Everyone wants to get back home to their families as quickly as they can, get ready for New Year's. But I think you talked about it. This is going to be like one of the best games we've talked about on some of the other shows too. Game of the decade, potentially, even. You could say, 50-50, but I'm praying that the Ravens squeak away with a win in Levi Stadium for Levi on Christmas.
Now, with that, that would be really, cool for you, of course, but how bad do the Ravens need this game? Me and David kind of talked about it. The Niners don't necessarily need this game, but we need the next 2 games. So with you guys, do you absolutely need this game, or are you in a situation where you can afford to lose this game and still control your destiny?
I mean, Baltimore kind of already controls their destiny a little bit, being the only team on the AFC side to actually lock a playoff spot this deep. Was it like week 15 now, I believe, in the NFL? It's pretty insane. The Ravens currently have a 92% chance of winning the AFC North, 63% chance of getting the number 1 seed. However, though, it's not over, especially if we lose. I think that number 1 seed percentage drops from like 60% to somewhere around 30% if we're unable to beat the Niners. But if we are able to beat y'all, it kind of really secures our spot, despite having some strong games like Miami coming up right after y'all.
I think that's a really good point. And one thing that I think is awesome too for this game is it's the last game of the week, right? It's the last game. So the Niners and the Ravens are going to be able to see how Dallas and Miami did. If Dallas beats Miami, the Niners need to kind of look in the back rear view mirror, right? If Miami wins, you guys need to look in the rear view mirror. And it can go for multiple games going down the road here. It really can.
I forgot to actually mention something too. We talked about it a little earlier. Again, the historic of this game. Lamar needs that 23 passing yards to pass his previous career high in season passing yards. Madubuike just needs a half sack to break the NFL record. And if y'all didn't know, Zay Flowers already broke the Ravens rookie reception record, previously held by Torrey Smith. And he's at 680 yards, needs 841. So he's on pace right now to break Torrey Smith's rookie receiving record for the Ravens as well. So a lot of history might be made here on this game as well for the Ravens.
So to step back to the sack record, is it the NFL sack record? Does he have 17 sacks, 18 sacks right now? Or is it
he's currently got 12. He's currently got 12 sacks as a defensive tackle, which is incredibly impressive. He's the first Baltimore Raven to have double-digit sacks since I think 2017 Terrell Suggs, if I'm not mistaken. Currently, though, the NFL record is 11 straight games with at least half a sack or more. The current record holder is a 4-way tie between Chris Jones of the Kansas City Chiefs, Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals, the former Minnesota Viking, Jared Allen, and, of course, Sean Ellis. So he tied that record in Jacksonville with his sack in the 4th quarter, the strip sack that he got. So even at half a sack more, he will become the all-time, single-time, greatest interior pass rusher, supposedly, consistently. So it's one of those ones, again, Christmas Day has potential to either be a game that the flock and Raven fans will probably remember for their entire lives and might generate that new wave of fans, or it's going to be a heartbreaker, so it could go either way.
So this is a defensive tackle NFL record. It's not. It's okay. I was trying to find out.
I should say defender in general, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's just that it makes it even more impressive that he's doing it from the defensive tackle, but I'll double check that.
Because the all-time sack record right now is what, 18 sacks? Or
consecutive games with at least half a sack is the stat line.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it should, like I said, a 4-way tie. Well, 5-way now.
So, David, we've talked a lot about this game. We have Baltimore and San Francisco. And I believe I believe I know how you feel, but please let me know. Is there something else? Is there anything that you haven't said, or is there something that maybe you have said, but still it needs to be said one more time? This game is again Baltimore and San Francisco. It's Christmas. It's the last game on Christmas. We did cover it. We kind of need this game. We kind of need all three games, but we can't afford to take one off. How do you feel?
I feel like this is going to be a hard fought game between the best team in the NFC and the best team in the AFC. And it might come down to a special teams play. It probably going to come down to which kicker can hit all his kicks. It's going to be one of those games where the little things are going to matter. The play that you normally don't look at, like, oh, that was close. We'll get the next one. No, we needed to get that play to win the game, or they needed to get that play to win the game. It's going to, this is going to be just one of those games where a single play here and there is going to make a big difference. And whoever makes those plays is going to walk away with the W.
Of course, San Francisco 49ers leading the league in turnover differential might be the key.
Yeah, I don't want it to come down to a special teams play. I know that sounds weird, me being a special teams guy. I'd rather, the Niners win confidence, and the confident win from the team, a nice deciding factor, like a couple of touchdowns. But this is a game, and we went through the score predictions yesterday. And I think I still have it right here as well. We can show it real quick, everybody, if you give me a second. We were right here.
We get to Fork Tails
Ravens
question.
versus Niners record.
There you go.
No, you can go ahead and answer it. That's fine. We'll bring it back up.
He says, "Are you more concerned with the 49ers offense or the defense?" I'm a little terrified of that offense. You've got to give proper respect. And it's something we've talked about a lot in these channels. The Ravens have struggled with that outside run defense. John Harbaugh actually specifically addressed it in the press conference the other day about Malik Harrison, the third string inside linebackers availability to play on the outside package. And that's something we talked about late last night too, is I'm gonna tell you right now, like I like to have these little thoughts. Like if I was a coach on that team, something I would stress to my team, of course, for the Ravens, it's about D-line, about getting your hands up. But for the offense and Brock Purdy, my eyes should always be looking to see if, I believe Malik Harrison wears number 40. If I see Malik on the outside for the Baltimore Ravens, I would have almost a play design audible immediately to try to maybe expose a passing on that, because Malik coming in as a sub defense to stop the run for the Ravens. So keep an eye on it. If Kyle Shanahan's smart, he'll put something in the playbook for it. And you'll see Brock Purdy make a lot of audibles when you see number 40 on the lined up outside linebacker position, Sam position for the Baltimore Ravens. But that score prediction.
That's wow. So the Niners they have a good offense. The Ravens have a good defense, and wow. Okay, sorry for all the caps, Don. I had my cap locks on. Okay. So Don, you have a great Christmas, you and your family as well. Everybody, please have a great Christmas, you and your family. But let's look at this real quick. All right, and we'll get back to the comments if anybody else has any questions. These are our scores. 2019, 17-20. That's a very close game. 2015, 20-25, close game. Super Bowl game, 34-31, close game. 2011, 6-16. Now that's 10 points, but that's pretty close. 9-7 in 2007. That's really close. Really close. 6-44. No, not at all. Ravens got us. 1996, the first game, 20-38. We got the Ravens. That game wasn't close. So you can see, there's only been 2 times in our history that we've really blown each other out. And the first matchup, that was probably the Niners' best roster to play the Ravens. The next year, you guys, we can't say that was your best roster, but we can say you guys were definitely getting better. You guys were that moment, the 97 year, you guys were moving up. You guys were definitely just a couple more years. You guys were a Super Bowl team. You guys were getting a better defense. You guys were getting everything was lining up for you. So that's something to think about too. This game, everybody wants to see a blowout or expecting it. It's probably not going to happen. Probably not. Okay, so let's see. BC McNiner, same question about Ravens. Okay, so David, would you like to start out the same question? We'll go back up here. Are you concerned with Niners?
I'm honestly
defense?
concerned. I am very concerned with the Ravens offense because Lamar Jackson, he's gotten better in the passing game. Back when we played him first in 2019, we went to Baltimore and played. It was a really good game. But Lamar Jackson was more of a runner than he was a passer. But he's evolved at this point where he's passing the ball and you got to add in that running threat. So I am very concerned about Baltimore's offense. Yes.
For me, it's going to be the same. And this is funny because the Ravens defense is the best defense in the league. But I think our offense can match up against just about anyone's defense. I really, truly think they're going to punch us in the face. We'll punch them in the face or whatever, slap box, however you want to say it. But the Niners will get in the end zone. The Niners will get points on the board. And the Ravens will make noise. That defense will make noise and problems for the Niners offense. I just don't think that's going to be I think it'll be a good contest, but I don't think, and I'm trying to be humble and I'm trying to be, not come off as a homer. I think the Niners offense can play football against any defense in the league. What the end of the score will be after the 60 minutes, that's a different story. You give us another quarter, maybe the Niners pull away. Sometimes like they don't start fast right away or whatnot. It's like they kind of said it about the Cowboys. If the Cowboys played the Niners like 10 times in a row, this first game, what would the end result be with that same team? And somebody said, the Niners probably win like 9 out of 10 times. And that's just the way that team that matches up against that team is. But your defense is a very good defense. But I think the Niners offense is just going to be able to find ways to produce. They're going to get in, but I think because of our offensive line, I think because of your guys's players on defense, they will make points and not make points. They will make plays as well. I think our team, as great as our team is, CMC has had a problem with fumbling. We've seen Ayuk fumble. We've seen Debo fumble. Your team, if they can capitalize on any turnovers like that, it's going to make a world of difference. Because when our team doesn't fumble, oh boy. When our team doesn't turn over the ball, oh boy. Brock is strong. He can get hit. He does get back up. We want to keep him healthy, but he's smart enough to try to continue to keep himself healthy. So that then mixing in the run plays and stuff like that does help. That does help. But our defense compared to your offense, the one thing that does scare me is your quarterback. Your quarterback's ability to move and take a 2-second play and make it 8 to 10 seconds. That's where the Russell Wilson effect comes in. That's where the Niners, we end up typically getting put on skates at certain times because we're afraid to hit the quarterback. I mean, take Dak Prescott last year in the playoffs. We had Armstead. He could have hit the quarterback right there in the end zone, but he was afraid he was going to get a penalty, and then so he held off. And those are some of those plays. It's where the Niners, they get to the point where they're going to make the tackle or the play, and they let up a little bit. And it's not weakness, but the other team seems to be able to capitalize from that moment. And then we go from it. We have to change. We've seen it in the beginning of the season where we had our corners were they were playing tough against Pittsburgh. The next week, there's a lot less of that. There's a lot more gaps and spaces. And the rookie wide receiver comes in and breaks a record against us. Why? Because the Niners were trying to adjust to the different type of offense. And they know the Rams wide receivers are really good. So they were trying to compensate. This game, we're going to have a spy. And I don't know if Fred Warner is going to be that spy because I think Fred Warner needs to be Fred Warner. So whoever they're going to put on Lamar, I don't think it needs to be exposed. I don't think anybody needs to know right now because I don't think they need a game plan against it. I think everybody thinks it's going to be Warner. And if Fred does go on, he's probably honestly the best player to be that spy. But if you put who's our other linebacker, the one who wants to hit everybody, if you make him be that guy, maybe we take out some of those bad plays that he sometimes those rough plays that he has, and maybe he has to calm. And I don't know. That's my thoughts. I'm a little bit more concerned with our defense going up against your offense. Not that our defense can't handle it, but it's the mobility of your quarterback. That's what I'm going to be watching for.
It's definitely something I've been stressing. I think Lamar is going to have to kind of take this game potentially on his back a little bit, just because your offense is so good. You talked about it. Ravens defense. Let me see here. I have the stat: 4.5 yards per play this season. Of course, that's first in the NFL. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the 49ers offense is leading in yards per play on the offensive side. So it really is like, the battle of two immovable objects or forces. Baltimore's Ravens defense also only allowed touchdowns on 18 of their 160 drives this season. That's 11.3%. Of course, ranks first, where the next best team is at 20%. So the Ravens are kind of having an almost historic level defense, and a big shout out to Mike McDonald, our second year defensive coordinator. Big effort, in that. But just big matchups to watch, of course. Roquan versus McCaffrey all night. Kittle versus Kyle Hamilton, the Pro Bowl safety against, Hall of Fame tight end. Whoever Brandon Stevens, the backup corner for the Baltimore Ravens, gets matched up again. Whether it's Ayuk or Debo, basically, who's it going to be? The Ravens don't really shadow and follow around. They keep their guys on their same sides. And we talked a little bit about that pre-snap motion of the Shanahan offense. Y'all use pre-snap motion 80%. It's something I teach young quarterbacks. Motion is your friend. I learned that from Bill Belichick more than anyone. It can tell you so much about a play, and it also creates those constant communication issues, which, again, just gives such easy looks that, like you mentioned, it's kind of hard to say that the Niners aren't going to score. It's just they're that good. They really are, not only from their players, but to the coaching and scheme.
Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's the breakdown, guys. We appreciate all for coming. Real quick, if I had to pick a game out of the week that's not a Niner game and Raven game, my game that I'm going to be excited to see today, the game I'm excited to see today, I'm going to have to say is probably the Cowboy and Miami game. I'll be listening to that one, and I'm also going to be listening to the Detroit and Minnesota game. I'm going to keep my eyes out for that one. David, is there a game that you are going to be interested to hear about? Maybe the Seahawks and Tennessee game, or any game that's playing on Sunday that you are going to be interested to be knowing the score or notified?
Well, the Raiders at the Chiefs.
Okay,
because the Raiders could step up and totally play spoiler here and make sure the Chiefs aren't going to be, getting the 1 or 2 seed at this point, right?
That rookie quarterback, you never know.
Yep.
Darwin, same question. Is there a game today that you're interested in? And I know you said you're going to be. What 2 games are you covering?
Yeah,
2 games?
2 games per week. So this of course Ravens are always one of the games. I've had a little bit of trouble scheduling my second games these weeks because I feel like I'm covering the same teams over and over again. I was going to cover the Texans-Browns game today, actually, but with CJ Stroud being out and Will Anderson being out, they've got a huge injury report over there in Houston, sadly. That game's not going to be what I want it to be. So I will be covering here at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, Cowboys and Dolphins later today. So we're excited for it.
Yeah. So everybody who's here, please check Levi out, at least jump in, give him a like, maybe say something, cool.
Yeah, we have more like a watch party than a play-by-play for the opposing games. So more just hanging out together, chatting it up.
Yeah, definitely pop in, drop a comment, maybe drop a dad comment, a dad joke. We love those. And so definitely turn on your notifications. If you're in Levi's chat, please like and subscribe to David McNiner and my channel as well. Anybody here, please make sure you go to Levi's. I think everybody in my channel knows you, Levi.
I know, right? Especially after this week.
But that's not a problem. But we'll keep going. And yeah, everybody, hope you have a good day. And yeah, stay faithful. David, tomorrow, well, I don't think we got to find out if we're doing coast to coast today or if it's going to be Tuesday, or we'll just have to figure that one out. But
Yes,
please keep the notifications out.
Yeah, let me know so I can drop into your chat, because I don't know if I follow the coast to coast or anything. So let me know.
Yeah, we'll do that. There's two other guys, and you sub, they'll sub, and it's always cool. So I think you were talking to Aaron last night on Bashar's channel.
Yep. Yeah.
Aaron's one of the guys in the coast to coast, and then the other member we have, he has two podcasts. He has East Coast Red and Gold, and he has Stay Faithful podcast, and that's Mr. Ty Austin. He's fantastic. I think Ted talked to you about Ty Austin.
He's the one he dropped in chat yesterday.
If you want to make your podcast go from 0 to 100, we call him 10% Ty. Ty's a great guy, a really great guy.
I think I like Ty a lot. I'm trying to get that NIL license and sports management license. I think me and Ty can make some money.
He's in the Friday night Twitter group too. So if you ever need to get a hold of him, you can find him right there really easy. He's very knowledgeable and easy to collab with. But faithful fans, family, everybody here, thank you so much for coming. We hope you enjoyed your time. You had a cup of coffee, something nice to drink. I am hoping I get a new cup of coffee because my faithful cup, it's always faithful, but I'm hoping it will be faithful. Maybe the full part fell off.
Is it a color changer?
Cups.
Oh,
this was made by Tony.
That's dope. Is the faithful one a color changer? Does the full actually come on when it's full?
No.
If not, you need to do that, man.
Yes, that would be really cool. We do have the heat color changing cups as well. No, that's just one of my oldest cups she's probably ever made. She put vinyl on it, and I got to get her to do it again for me because it's my favorite.
Marketing guy. I'll put a little Jesus fish on it and do the faithful thing, and you'll sell out within a week. You'll sell out within a week. I promise you.
Love it. But folks, with that, thank you very much for coming. We are going to head out. And again, if you didn't see it real quick, give me 12 seconds, 14 seconds. These are your playoff teams that are currently there, and this is your bubble.
Ooh.
And with that, folks, it was short. It was sweet. You can go back and pause it. If you need to write it down, if you don't want to Google it, those are your teams. Those are your playoffs. Anything can happen. We got 3 weeks left. So continue to come back and we'll keep you updated. With that, folks, we're out of here. David, send us out.
Go Niners. And as Corey Davis would say, F all 31 other teams.